Sheikha Hind Al Maktoum is the most mysterious wife of Dubai's ruler, one of the richest men on the planet. Sheikh Mohammed officially had 6 wives. Some ran away from him, others he kicked out himself. Only Hind has lived with him for almost half a century and has given birth to 12 children. Is she happily married? Why was their wedding in the Guinness Book of Records, and was she scheming against the Sheikh's other wives? Don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel. Let's get started. Hind Al Maktoum is the First Lady of Dubai and the mother of Crown Prince Sheikh Hamdan. She was born on February 12, 1962, and belongs to Dubai's ruling Al Maktoum dynasty. Her mother, Sheikha, was the daughter of Dubai's ruler Said II. The princess received a home upbringing in accordance with Islamic traditions. She practically never left the palace, and it was as if fate itself was preparing her for an unusual mission. Hind had known Sheikh Mohammed since childhood because she was Mohammed's maternal cousin and paternal second cousin. The major event in her life occurred in 1979 when she turned 17. Hind and Mohammed's parents agreed on their union. Sheikh Mohammed was then the head of Dubai's police and defense minister. He was 30 years old and had already enjoyed the life of a bachelor. 2 years before his engagement to Hind, the man even had a daughter, Manal, with a Lebanese woman, Randa. Apparently, Mohammed's family was tired of his love affairs and decided to show the world that the Sheikh had settled down. For the avoidance of doubt, the wedding was organized on an unprecedented scale. The lavish celebration also had political overtones. The Emirates began to receive large revenues from the sale of oil and sought to show the whole world their advancement. Mohammed and Hind's wedding was the first major public event in Dubai. In scale, it was more like a national holiday than a wedding. The celebrations were held near the royal palace of Zabil. The huge sandy area in front of the palace was cleared and fenced. Lighting poles were installed and decorated. A 20,000-seat stadium was built especially for the wedding. The scale of the events is illustrated by the fact that only VIPs were allowed into the stadium. Hundreds of thousands of ordinary Arabs were accommodated in the open air. This was the only way they could see a ceremony unprecedented for the Emirates. A procession of 20 camels of a rare breed brought gifts to the feet of Hind. These were gifts to the bride from Mohammed and aristocratic guests. They were mostly outfits with rubies and diamonds, jewelry, antique dishes and carpets, as well as several luxury cars. For 5 days, all residents of the Emirate of Dubai were given free food and entertainment. For the first time in the city's history, a grand air show was staged in the sky. The guests also saw camel races, in which Mohammed Al Maktoum won unconditionally. He also laid the gold cup he won at the feet of his bride. The aristocrats who came to the party were shocked by the luxury of the ceremony. On the holiday was spent $137 million. This wedding became the most expensive in history and was listed in the Guinness Book of Records. No woman in the world has ever had such an expensive wedding until now. Incredibly, the grandiose luxury did not faze 17-year-old Hind. After the celebration, she devoted herself fully to family life. Over the next 2 decades, she bore her husband 12 children. She gave birth almost every year, which is a feat in itself. Hind also raised several foster boys and girls she adopted from charity. They were mostly orphans taken from orphanages. However, the father of some of Hind's non-native children is Mohammed. The amorous sheikh took them from his other wives and then gave them to his senior wife to raise. As eyewitnesses say, she not only did not object to this, but even rejoiced. The woman is incredibly fond of children and has never made any distinction between her own and others. The princess gave birth to her first child, a girl, Hessa, a year after the wedding. Another year later, Rashid was born. It was he who was to succeed his father on the throne of Dubai. In the upbringing of the future ruler, his mother put all her soul, and he, indeed, grew up to be an intelligent and strong-willed man on whom the subjects of Dubai hoped. However, at the age of 33, her mother's pride, a brilliant athlete and heir to the throne, died of a heart attack. This was a great grief for Hind, but she knew she had no right to be despondent. After all, she had other children to raise and prepare for adulthood. There were many other trials in Hind's fate. Her husband had so many women that probably some of them the sheikh does not even remember. As a rule, Mohammed had 3 or 4 wives at a time, and periodically they would change. This usually happened when the next wife quarreled with him. Then he broke off the relationship with the woman and took the children for himself. Hind saw all this but accepted it with humility because she was brought up according to strict Muslim traditions. Also according to these traditions, she always wears a mask over her face. This mask, made of metallic-colored cloth and worn by Arab women in the Gulf countries, is called a burqa. This word is similar to the word burqa, which means a covering that hides the whole face, but the burqa is used to cover only part of the face and is traditionally a symbol of femininity. The burqa used to be part of the daily wear of Arab women, but now it is mostly seen on older women. In 2004, a very unpleasant ordeal awaited Hind. Sheikh Mohammed married the beautiful Princess Haya from Jordan. She was 12 years younger than Hind, more spectacular looking, very active and ambitious. Unlike the Sheikh's senior wife, she appeared at all events with Mohammed, gave interviews and conducted public social activities. But this marriage ended miserably. After 15 years, Haya ran away from the palace with her 2 children. In the court of London, she managed to sue her ex-husband for $730 million. This divorce became the most expensive in the world. Ironically, Sheikh Mohammed set 2 world records related to his wives. He spent a truly astronomical amount of money on his wedding to Hind. But he had to give away even more to legally break up with Haya. Apparently he has no regrets about either. After all, both wives gave him more than money. As for Hind, she has excelled in raising all of Mohammed's children. Crown Prince Hamdan is actively involved in the development of the Emirates and is preparing to replace his father as the ruler of Dubai. 7 more sons work in public administration, are engaged in business and science. Almost all daughters have successfully married and are raising children. Now the First Lady is over 60 years old. Hind has already fulfilled her duty as a mother and now assists her husband in running the emirate. She is actively involved in charity work, participates in the promotion of Arab women in the government, and supervises the social sphere. However, as before, Hind works without pathos and does not show off her achievements to the public. Rumor has it that these photos are not of Hind, but of Mama Noura, the nanny who helped Hind in raising Sheikh Mohammed's children, and that there are only a few photos of Hind, all of which were taken in her youth. What do you think about this? Write in the comments. The First Lady of Dubai is highly respected and loved by the people of Dubai. For local ladies, Hind is a model of human qualities that a true Muslim woman should possess. She has shared joy and sorrow with her husband, survived all his antics and numerous love affairs. Who knows, maybe this is what a woman's selfless love looks like. Subscribe to the channel, put a like. See you soon.